Okay, so we're gonna dig into the gear first. And again, this isn't supposed to be a tutorial on how to use a compass. I just thought I'd show you some of the gear that I use. Starting off, we've got this military style compass. Some of the features on it are that it's got some impregnated lines and whatnot so it can glow in the dark. This is the type where if you charge it up with a light source, it'll glow. It's got a setup here so that you can imagine this is a magnifying glass with a sort of a slot there. There's a wire in this opening, and it's set up so that you can use this wire loop area to stick over your thumb so you can kind of hold it like you would a pistol, let's say. Now I've got it in my hand, I can hold it up to my eye. I can adjust this so that it's going to refract the light and show me the compass bearing. At the same time, I can line up the wire with the notch on a tree or a obstacle or whatever it happens to be in a rock outcropping. I can pick a bearing there, and real nice. Once you've found your bearing, you can click this forward and it'll lock it into place so you can record that bearing. Real heavy duty compass. It's really designed for maybe throwing mortar rounds or artillery or something, but it'll let you hike real easily. Super sturdy. It's got a measuring line on this side. Just really well made. Little heavy, little big for some people, but I've just gotten used to using these over the years and I really like them. There's the other type of compass. When you have a map, this type is clear plastic, so when you lay it down you can see what you're looking at, and these can get pretty intense. Lots of magnifying glasses, special measuring devices, calculators and whatnot kind of built into them. This one's very simple, really not much more than a hole for a lanyard, arrow for north, some measurements, and then a directional bevel there so you can do your map and compass work. And then last, you've got these small compasses, just simple ones that point north, so that as you're walking, sometimes those can be an aid. These aren't great compasses for everything, but they're good to keep you on your bearing. Of course, then you've got your electronic things, like the GPS units here. This one's got a radio and an electronic compass in it. This one's more simple. I consider GPS units like calculators. They're great. They let you do your job quickly, but they're like a calculator. If you don't know the basic math, then you're just cheating yourself by only using them. If you want to get out there and start orienteering and see the fun of finding stuff, GPS units are great, but don't limit yourself to just a GPS unit, because it is possible for those to go down. It's possible for the batteries to go out. It's possible for the unit to fall down and break. It's possible for satellite issues, weather and that kind of thing. So don't depend on a piece of electronic equipment. It's a great aid and it makes things a lot quicker, but the better prepared person is going to know how to use the actual old-fashioned tools. In fact, compasses are sort of cheaters too. Back in the day, they were able to navigate pretty well without compasses even. So not that you don't want to use a compass, but definitely, if you're interested in this at all, learn how to use the different methods that are out there. Another tool that I like to use are the protractors. Not all protractors are created equal. Might be a little bit hard to see these on the video. This used to be one of my favorite ones just because it's so thin. You can see here it bends real easily, doesn't break. So it's great for putting in a pack or into a small package. This one I liked a lot better because of the lines go almost all the way to the center, and there's just a bit of magnification there at the center. The only problem with this one is it's a little thicker plastic, so it doesn't bend, and it's quite brittle. It could break real easily. And this last one is just a little bit bigger. Much better little magnifying glass here though, and sometimes a bigger one is better. So none of these are exactly the same and none of them is perfect. I have a few because I keep a map and compass in a few different places, and I usually keep one with each of them, but I'm still on the lookout for that perfect protractor out there. Anyway, it's nice to have some of these for doing some map work. Other things that are basically I consider a necessity are a light. I like this Phoenix. This is a PD30. It uses two batteries, two CR123 batteries. The reason I like this one is its first setting is the low setting. So this is a utility light, a task light, and less, it's not so much a tactical light, but it's nice and small. The batteries do allow it to have a pretty decent run time. So I've used this one for quite a while as a task light, and it's still running fine. Another type of light that's nice to have are these little LED lights that are very inexpensive. This one's less than $2 at CountyCom, and easy to tie to gear, leave it on a pack or wherever, even tie it to a compass. There's not much metal in here, so it's not going to affect the compass needle. Anyway, these are great for map reading, and you can get them in different colors, and this blue one might be a good idea. Even though it's going to mess with some of the colors on the map, on a topographic map, it doesn't ruin your night vision, so it's another nice option. So aside from the actual tools, you need a place to carry them. Lots of different options out there. Something like this admin pouch is really set up for carrying maps and whatnot. This notebook is a little too big for it, but a smaller notebook can fit in here easily. Some sort of a resource on hiking or orienteering could fit in here easily. Maps can fit in here. There's pockets on the outside for your gear, maybe a radio or just in case of GPS, and then there's places for pens and pencils on the outside as well. This one's set up to use Velcro, but it also has some attachment points, so this is something that you could tie around your neck. You could stick on the outside of your gear. What it is, it's called an admin pouch. It allows you to quickly get to papers and whatnot that you might need quickly. If that doesn't work for your gear, this is another nice little pouch. Similar objective there. This one is definitely designed with a piece of 550 cord to go around your neck, so you wear it like a necklace. You can easily fold your map and stick it into this clear section. So once you've decided that this is the area you're going to be hiking in, fold your map so that it fits, and it goes in there and gives you quick access to your map without having to actually put hands on the paper. So that's a nice option if you're going to be in one area, or if your map works for it. It's a little small though, so it may not work for everybody. And then there's another pocket back here where you could again put a small compass or some pens and paper and that kind of thing. So that's another option for a smaller hike, let's say. I usually take this out with me. These are some ranger beads. I didn't mention those, but these are basically pace counting beads. Without getting it, you can find videos on how to use them, but as you walk, you just sort of move the beads, and it's just a way to help keep track as you're walking over terrain, what kind of distance you've walked. This though is just a simple binder. I just got this a long time ago from a military base, so it's in a camouflage color. But again, it just allows you to put something like some paper in here with a clasp, a folder. It lets you organize. Obviously everybody knows how to use a folder. This one is just sort of an all-weather folder. And then last up, I've got another camouflage thing, and this one has a zipper all the way around it. It's got a removable inside sort of pouch where I usually keep pens and paper and or pens and pencils and that kind of thing. It's got a small version of that notebook for paper and for a map or whatever, and then some pockets to just help keep things organized. This pouch has been with me for quite a while actually. Take it with me pretty much whenever I'm going to be anywhere for an extended period, just so that I do have something. This actually fits in a cargo pocket really well, so for the longest time when I used the typical BDU type of pants, this was really easy to carry along with me, and it gave me enough materials, like I say, for a map and for small resources. So that's some of the stuff that I use when I'm hiking. Nothing's perfect, but you see, you sort of accumulate it over time. Dig in, buy a couple of pouches, buy a couple of packs, borrow whenever you can, so that you get an idea of what you like using. And if you're comfortable with your gear and you're able to use it without fighting it, you're going to be more effective with it. So again, if you can borrow somebody's gear, if you're going hiking and they're not going, ask them if you can borrow their pouch or their pack, and see if you like it better. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. It's a real help though if you try something out and you don't like it, instead of buying it and figuring out you don't like it. So again, this isn't a how-to video, but it's hopefully going to give somebody some ideas about hiking, and the next videos will go into the resources and the maps.